Okay, so you're on Cortez Holmes Counsel, Ms. Barron?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay, just that in your, okay, Mr. Holmes, one moment. And counsel, you indicated you're just on the felony matter, correct?
Yes, that's right.
What'd you say, sir?
I was talking to your
Mr. Holmes,
attorney.
they're just talking to me right now.
Your Honor, I see him on the list for 2 misdemeanor matters, and they put him on the list the past 3 days, but they never brought him. So I think that was the confusion. And we've been in contact with counsel. She's gave us a lot of information, but I do apologize if she's not representing him on all matters. He will need to be interviewed at some point by us because we were under
So
the
we're
impression
gonna. I apologize to cut you off. So she'll do the felony matter, and then if you could have somebody zoom in, I can put him in a breakout room, and you can interview him for his misdemeanor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Holmes, you're here.
I think Joyce Riesenhover's office is that your office?
That's who she's from.
Yesterday. Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cortez Holmes, you're here for counsel on your felony matter. You have an additional matter where you have a misdemeanor with a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. First, we're going to handle your felony matter. Sir, state your full name for the record, please.
My name is Cortez Holmes. I'd like to take you to trial.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, one moment, please. Good morning to you. Counsel,
I
appearances
got
for the people.
patience too, ma'am.
Samuel A. Ragnan, P23-157 on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Judge Hannah Barron from the Neighborhood Defender Service, P85265, representing Mr. Holmes.
Thank you. Good morning to you both. And counsel for Mr. Holmes, as to the arraignment.
Judge, we'd ask to waive a formal reading of the charges and stand mute.
He's been advised of his constitutional rights. Mr. Holmes, you need to be quiet, sir. You'll have a chance to speak, but please be quiet.
Yes,
has
sir.
he been advised of his constitutional rights, Ms. Barron?
Yes, Judge.
Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Holmes, the court scheduling 2 court dates on this matter, sir. You must attend both of them. You have a probable cause conference via Zoom, January 22nd, Monday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Sabri. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, January 29th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Sabri. Understood those 2 court date and times, Mr. Holmes?
Say again, sir.
Did you understand those 2 court date and times, January 22nd, January 29th, that you must attend?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, please entered on your behalf as to bond from the people.
Yeah, this defendant has
I'm not even tripping,
a
bro.
history of offenses, Your Honor. He currently has 3 cases open. The assault and battery, which we're going to do next. He has this case also. And then he also has one from police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing from 12/13/23. This incident occurred where he went to a place called Fire Pizza. The manager told him that he would not serve him. The defendant pulled out, he put money on the counter, which also he put on the counter a knife. And the manager said, "I'm still not going to serve you." And the clerk there saw this as well. The defendant then said, quote, "I'm going to fuck up your car," end quote. Shortly thereafter, the manager went out to his car. His 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee had deep scratches along the front and rear driver's side of the vehicle. They had other scratches on the vehicle. The damage, it comes to $2,304 that this defendant caused. And then when he finally is arrested because he had left the scene, he admits to this. He's admitted to damaging, the defendant admitted to damaging the complainant's vehicle. Then he was said he was going to kill himself. I believe, and then he was cleared at the hospital and transferred to the Detroit Detention Center, and they recovered the knife as well. Your Honor, as I said, that's 3 cases open right now. He's got numerous convictions. Back in 2010, he was pled guilty to police officer assaulting, 2 counts of police officer assaulting, and then on 9/21/2010, he pled guilty to stolen property, receiving, and concealing. And as in the assault and battery case that's pending, Your Honor, it's assaultive behavior all the time. He goes into a business, he gets mad and starts yelling at the clerk, he becomes irate, and then he hauls off and punches someone in the face, which is what he does. So yeah, we're gonna ask for a $10,000, 10% bond. We're also going to ask for a GPS tether with home arrest if he's able to post bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Response, counsel.
So Judge, Mr. Holmes is presumptively entitled to a personal bond, and I have no information in front of me about the current charges that Mr. Holmes is facing. I have no police reports, but I do know that he's just facing a malicious destruction of property charge. So as to the government's assertions that he somehow threatened somebody in some way, put a knife on the counter, Judge, he's charged with malicious destruction of property. That's what's before this court. I do have more information about Mr. Holmes's other charge, his charge of resisting and obstructing. I'm representing Mr. Holmes on that case as well. Mr. Holmes was illegally arrested in that case, and I believe that that's what the evidence will show. I believe that the case will eventually be dismissed because of that. So Mr. I know his other case was based on an illegal arrest. I don't have the information on this current one. But what we do know, Judge, is that these are very low-level felonies that Mr. Holmes is facing. Mr. Holmes is innocent, and a bond of $10,000, 10%, while many people would be able to post that bond, would still be able to fight their case from out of custody, that's not going to be possible for Mr. Holmes because he can't afford it.
Is he working?
No, Judge, I don't believe Mr. Holmes is currently working. He is being set up with a social worker from my office. He's met with the social worker already. And he's going to continue to be connected with that social worker from NDS upon his release.
Thank you.
So, Judge, we would ask for a personal bond in this case.
Mr. Holmes, your counsel has advocated very well on your behalf and given the court information to consider, including but not limited to your lack of employment status as relates to ability to post bond. You have ties to the community. This is a felony, and it's not a just felony. It's a felony, and it's a serious felony. And the court does take into consideration information that's alleged in the investigator's report, including the charge. But there's allegations, sir, that you had a knife on the counter and that you placed that knife onto the counter while during this allegation, and then it's further alleged that you destroyed property after making a threat, further alleged that you became irate, kicking the scout court car were being transported. Also concerning is you have another felony matter that's represented by counsel, and then we have an allegation of an assault and battery that we're going to handle next. Not only is that a very serious allegation that's pending, but it's also a matter where you failed to appear, and you have a warrant for your arrest, and that warrant was just issued December 1st of 2023. What that KPS, that warrant tells the court, sir, is you do not listen as ordered on unrelated matters as it relates to the ability to post bond. You've given an order, you've disregarded it for whatever reason. And that's concerning to the court, where if I were to just release you on a personal bond with no monetization, you treat it the same you have in the other matters, disregard the court orders and not show up. And as stated, you do have prior felony convictions, which rises us to a second offense notice. You have assaultive allegations that's pending, and the court has concerns regarding threats that are alleged to have been carried out in the investigator's report while in possession, allegedly, of a knife. And noted, as counsel stated, the charge is not an assaultive charge, but there's allegations of assault in the investigator's report as well as the pending matters. Take into consideration your KPS, which is concerning regarding your intention to appear, as well as the concerns the court has regarding the safety of the public given these assaultive allegations and your pending assault and battery. The court is going to follow your counsel's recommendation in part, and that you're going to be released on a $20,000 personal bond. During this bond, Mr. Holmes, there is no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. No weapons. Do not go anywhere near that location of the Fire Pizza at 8004 Greenfield in Detroit, Michigan. And absolutely no contact with Rob Blummer Jr. And that's no contact of any kind, no contact orally in writing through a third party at his place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with Rob William Blummer Jr. And to ensure that you're going to come to court and to protect the safety of the complaining witness as well as the public, you are going to be fit with a GPS tether prior to being released, given your capious history. And that will place you under house arrest, Mr. Holmes. You're not to leave for any reason until told otherwise by a judge or to see your counselor come to court. Mr. Holmes, do you have any questions regarding your court dates or bond conditions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you very much for my tether bond.
You're welcome. Ms. Barron, anything further or from the people?
Nothing
Yes, Judge,
further,
I
Your Honor.
apologize. Sorry,
I
that was
apologize.
the 20,000 personal house arrest and Your Honor said a tether?
Yes.
No tether. Okay, thank you.
No, there is a tether. Yes. Yes, tether. Yep.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. And then counsel, you're not representing them on the warrant for the assault and battery. Is that correct? No?
That's correct, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
And-
counsel. Good luck.
And Your Honor, he actually was interviewed, so we don't need a breakout room. We're ready.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Cortez, you have an additional matter, sir, where you have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. We're going to handle that matter now as well. State your full name one more time.
One more time, sir.
One more time, sir. Say
One
your
more
name.
time, what? Oh,
Say your
Cortez
name one
Holmes.
more. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. And this is on case 2304534 People's State of Michigan versus Cortez Holmes, also known as Cortez Ramon Holmes, Cortez Raymond Holmes, Cortez Holmes -Light. Here for the people.
Samuel A. Reagan for the people, Your Honor. Oh,
Thank you.
Jessica Scheibe on behalf of Mr. Holmes, who is from a reading, understands his constitutional rights and stands mute.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. On this matter, Mr. Holmes, the court scheduling a pretrial, sir, you must attend on March the 6th. That's a Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, 36th District Court Judge Bryant. Understood, Mr. Holmes? March the 6th.
Yes, sir. So when I go out and when I get my tether, can I get a paper with all my court dates?
You should get paperwork before you leave. If you're not, you can call down to the 36th District Court, but I'm telling you these court dates, March the 6th on this matter, understood?
Yes, sir. So when will they bring my tether?
Well, that's up to the housing facility where you're being housed. They'll fit you with the tether, hopefully as soon as possible. Okay, so
All
we're
right.
going to proceed with this question, and if you have any questions, we'll answer at the end of this arraignment or towards the end. Appearances, I believe, or no, advocacy for the people.
Your Honor, as previously mentioned, this incident occurred back on September 30th, 2023, when the defendant went to a restaurant, I believe, to a store, and they asked him to leave because he was loitering and disturbing the customers as they entered and exited the store. Mr. Holmes then got into a verbal altercation with the manager of the store, and he charged him and punched him. The complainant blocked the punches, and the officers did not observe any injuries on him. The manager also showed the video of the actions by the defendant in charging him and trying to punch him, Your Honor. So it just seems to me that the complainant became angry, randomly being in front of the store, causing problems. Yeah.
Can I say one thing, Your Honor?
I think
No,
Just
Mr.
one
Holmes.
thing.
1 second. Your attorney wants to give you some advice. This is your attorney, so listen closely. Counsel, you want to give him some advice?
Mr. Holmes, I'm gonna argue for you, okay? For your own protection, please don't say anything at all. Just let me handle it. Please exercise your right to remain silent for your protection.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
APA. keep going.
I guess we would be asking just for a $10,000 personal bond and continue the tether on him so he doesn't get any more problems while this is pending. Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
Response.
no objections, Your Honor. And in the report, it does say that when the officers spoke with my client. He stated that he occasionally works for the complainant, cleaning up the store, and the complainant became angry with him randomly being in front of the store when he sometimes cleans up there for him in exchange for money or food, Your Honor. So at some point he was working there, helping out there. Regardless, he understands absolutely no context. So respectfully asking the court to consider that personal bond, and he already has that tether, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Your counsel's advocated well on your behalf. As always, you do have ties to the community. Your lack of employment status as relates to ability to post bonds taken into consideration. Concerning, sir, is that you were previously arraigned on this matter, this assaultive allegation, and you were released by Honorable Magistrate Joseph A. Boyer and released on a $10,000 personal bond where, for whatever reason, you disregarded that order and did not appear. And when you failed to appear on December 1st for 2023 for a pretrial, the judge you were assigned to issued a warrant for your arrest and placed a bond at $1,000 cash surety, which required you to post $1,000 to be released. Mr. Holmes, I'm following the people as well as your counsel's recommendation, and it's going to be amended to a personal bond. However, there's allegations in a $10,000 personal bond. This is a assaultive allegation. You failed to appear. I've had concerns regarding the safety of the complaining witness as well as the public, where it's alleged that a video shows you charging and punching at the complaining witness and becoming angry in front, randomly being in front of the store and loitering, according to information alleged in the investigator's report. Given your capious history, Mr. Holmes, the assaultive allegation, the court is going to fit you with a GPS tether on this matter prior to being released. As with the other matter, that will place you under house arrest. You have a personal bond of $10,000. There is no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. During this bond, Mr. Holmes, do not go back to the area or premises of 8024 Greenfield Road in Detroit, Michigan, 48228, and absolutely no contact with Nassim Salah, and have no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with Nassim Salah. Do you have any questions regarding your court dates or bond conditions, Mr. Holmes?
No, sir.
Counsels?
Nothing further.
Okay. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.